allait prendre la route de l'aventure. Amen, c'est le président. Un pauvre qui vote pour celui qui l'a rendu pauvre. Si on était bien au pays, est-ce qu'on allait prendre la route de l'étranger? Amen, c'est le président. À l'Assemblée, il y a un vieux, vraiment. Au Sénat, il y a un vieux. Wonderful. À la présidence, il y a un vieux. Dans tout le gouvernement, il n'y a que des vieux, des vieux, des vieux. Good day to the beautiful people of the Cameroons, the beautiful people of British Cameroon, and the beautiful people of La République du Cameroon. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a party political broadcast by myself, Maitre Mola Alex Ndive Lisinge, the leader of British Cameroon National Party. We're a party that we believe that we have to use legal means and attain equal status with La République du Cameroon. And we believe that Article 65 of the Constitution of La République du Cameroon gives us that right to self-determination. We don't need to beg. The Constitution gives us that power. It is our right. The Constitution is above every person in any democratic country. So if you want to be federate with La République du Cameroon, it's your business. If you want to decentralization from La République is your business. We believe we are two equal partners and we are not going to beg. All we need is to stand in a free and fair election in the two regions of British Cameroon, and we stand and compete for the parliamentary seat. The person who wins it wins the day. That is democracy. We understand that before I was born, some of our parents, they voted, they decided to join La République du Cameroon on equal partnership. That was their right. They were about 5 to 6 million. Democratically again, we of today in British Cameroon, we can decide whether we want to stay or want to remain. It's very important. That's democracy. So ladies and gentlemen, today this party political broadcast is about the impossibility between La République and British Cameroon to live together. Ladies and gentlemen, it's not about emotion. I don't do emotion. For those of you who knew me when I was growing up, a boy, a teenager, a man now, a pa now, I made my decision when I was a young boy or teenager. I analyzed the Cameroon. I studied the Cameroon. I did my research, and I believe it is practically impossible for British Cameroon to be with La République du Cameroon. Nothing emotional. When we talk about politics, it doesn't mean we hate people. Some of my best family and friends, they are in La République. But politics is not about family. It's about your personal political opinion, what you believe in. And I keep on making this clear. If any presidential hopeful come and tell you that they understand Cameroon, promise you A, B, and C, know that they are lying. Insofar as British Cameroon remains, with La République du Cameroon, we will never, ever, ever develop. Ladies and gentlemen, how can you develop with a country that is not independent, a country that is not sovereign? Ladies and gentlemen, La République du Cameroon is not an independent country. It is not a sovereign country. They just use words. A sovereign country have authority to do whatever they want to do. But La République du Cameroon cannot do this. And taking into consideration that they have annexed British Cameroon, so we are going to suffer and die forever without any development. Ladies and gentlemen, I speak with facts. I speak with evidence. Running a country, ladies and gentlemen, involves economic management. Nobody will tell you this. There are people who have been working with the government of La République du Cameroon for more than 50 years. They don't even know what I'm saying because all they are interested is stealing taxpayers' money, corruption, embezzlement. Ladies and gentlemen, I've never been a member of any political party in the Cameroons. Yes, I've always been an activist. Whether it's in Yaoundé, Bamenda, Boya, or wherever, I fought for what matters. I knew CNU rebranded CPDM, SDF, all the political parties in the Cameroon. I look at them. I used to ask myself, why do people join these parties with no manifesto? Manifesto is about economic development, taxation, policing, maybe form of state, fishery, agriculture, equal opportunity, environment, monetary policy, France CFA. You have all those things. Since 1992 to 2018, no political party have ever campaigned on a manifesto. It has often been what? Politics of personality cult. It's only when British Cameroon National Party start talking about how do people go to an election without a manifesto. Today they start using the word manifesto, but they don't even still know what is a manifesto. Because if you have a manifesto, you will debate with other people, then you make sure that the manifesto is fully costed. But today, as I say, none of them, they are not telling you about whether the Cameroons is sovereign or independent. It is not. Ladies and gentlemen, in order to have a sovereign economy, an independent economy, you need to manage your economy. Ladies and gentlemen, we don't manage the monetary policy in the Cameroons. In order for you to manage your economy in a sovereign and independent country, you need a central bank. Ladies and gentlemen, a central bank is the heart of every country. I know some people will say, well, have you there? No, it's not our bank. It's a bank run by France. France is in the Eurozone. They have the same money in the European Union. They have a central bank in the European Union, in the Eurozone. But France still have their bank. Their bank is called Banque de France. It is a Republican bank. So we have been having a country, running a country without a bank. Then we say we are independent. British Cameroon used to have an independent bank. Ever since they annexed us, they have abolished it. Ladies and gentlemen, the central bank have got a very pivotal part to play in every country. It is the heart of every country. The central bank manipulates money supply of any country and the credit condition. Ladies and gentlemen, a central bank stimulates and retain economic activities. All these things I'm saying is being done by France, not by Paul Biya. Paul Biya says he's the president of the Cameroons, Ngongo, Ayolo, all of them. They don't do these things. It is France. France is responsible for the money supply in the Cameroons. They are responsible with their central bank to manipulate money supply credit condition to stimulate and retain economic activity. It is France. Got nothing to do with Motazer. Then they say they are independent. Price stability is being done by a central bank, a foreign country for us. In order to lower and have stable inflation, it's being done by a foreign country, not by the Cameroon authority. They say they are governing their country. The only way they govern the country is when France have taken their own part. Then they leave them with the beat that they will embezzle it, they will steal it. That's the only time they govern. Their job to govern the Cameroons is about stealing, embezzlement, Covid gate, can gate, you know the rest. So these people don't govern the country. The central bank is responsible for sustainable growth. But France is doing it, not Paul Biya and his CPDM government. They just sit there, France tell them what to do. The central bank is responsible for full employment. Do you think France wants us to have full employment? No. So ladies and gentlemen, when I say La République du Cameroun and British Cameroon can never stay together except we want to remain slave forever, except we want apartheid to continue, except we want imperialism to continue. Ladies and gentlemen, it is not emotional. It is economic reality. La République du Cameroun and British Cameroon cannot be together. Ladies and gentlemen, besides, La République du Cameroun is not a democracy. Ladies and gentlemen, a democracy is not about election. A democracy is a system of government where the power to govern is ultimately held by the people. You, the people, do you have that power? Do you have that power? Do power belong to you? When you want to talk about your president who disappeared in Europe for years, they say don't talk about the president's health. The president of a republic is an institution. You have a right to talk about it, but they say no, you don't have right. Democracy. It's a system of government where the power to govern is ultimately held by the people. But when you want to talk, they beat you. Ladies and gentlemen, democracy is about popular sovereignty. The source of power, political power, must come from the people. But ladies and gentlemen, you go to the Cameroons. Do you elect your mayor? No. Indirectly, they elect the mayor. They say the councillors, they have to choose. So you don't really choose your own leaders. Do you choose? Do you elect your senators? No, you don't elect them. Indirect suffrage. They fool you. You don't. It's not a popular sovereignty. Ladies and gentlemen, yes, part of democracy is election. The right to choose your leader. I was talking. How many of you choose your leader? Okay, let's go only in the CPDM political party. Paul Biya has been there for 43 years. Are you allowed to choose your leaders even inside your own CPDM party? They quote, this text said this. So if people are in the CPDM, I might be interested to replace Mr. Biya. So why is it that it takes to say only the chairman for 43 years? You don't choose your leader. It's all fixed. That's not democracy. It's not only the, how do you call it? It's not only the CPDM political party. The SDF, they do the same thing. They put money to barrier, to stop people who are poor. Because you're poor or you cannot pay deposit doesn't mean that you're not a good leader. So they make sure that people who don't have deposit, they cannot stand there. That's not democracy. You have to have a right to choose your leader, whether you're rich or you're poor, but they don't give you that chance in the Cameroon. Democracy is about the rule of law. Do we have rule of law in Cameroon? No. Everybody, including the government and everyone, must be accountable to the law. We have seen a lot of things that have happened in the Cameroons that are alleged criminal activity. Can you take Mr. Biya to court? No. We have seen in other Africa, like South Africa, they take presidents to court. They challenge president. Nobody should be above the law. In the Cameroons, people are above the law. We know some of the people who murder Martinez Zogo, they are still there in the presidency. They have not taken them to court. Even the case of Martinez Zogo, how many years today, there have been no hearing. So we know what is happening. There's no rule of law in the Cameroons. We are still looking for Wazizi's body. Nobody is telling us. As the government made an investigation, the people who murder Wazizi, they should go and show where they bury him. Nothing. Cameroon is like a jungle, a zoological garden. Democracy is about protection of the right and freedom of the people. I'm telling you this. We cannot stay with people who don't have democracy. Right and freedom. Article 65 tells you your right of freedom of expression, association. When Camto came from France, they say he cannot go to his office. He's not free to go to his own office. Is that freedom? That's not a democratic country. We of British Cameroon, we were democratic before we joined them. So it's impossible for British Cameroon to be part of La République du Cameroon or to continue to stay in this unholy and illegal and illegitimate union. Democracy is about transparency. Government operation must be accessible to the public. All operation. I live in England. They question the government every day. When people doubt anything, they have to ask questions, urgent question, private members question. You ask the government and they must answer that question. Do the government, is it accessible to us? It's not. You go to Ministry of Finance, 40%. You retire, you want to do your pension or what? 40%. Those people are civil servants. Why are they asking you 40%? You've already paid your tax. So, ladies and gentlemen, there is no democracy in the Cameroons. Ladies and gentlemen, accountability is what is very important in a democracy. The government must be responsible for its action and decision. But we don't see that in the Cameroons. People have been killed. University students have been beaten. Lawyers and teachers have been disgraced. People have gone without having their salaries. But the government doesn't care of its action and decisions. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is practically impossible for the people of British Cameroon to stay in a union with the people of La République du Cameroun. Ladies and gentlemen, as things stands, anybody who is from La République du Cameroun or British Cameroon, when we go our separate ways, you can come peacefully. If you're from La République, you can come and stay in British Cameroon. And those of you from British Cameroon who like the laws, oppressive laws of La République du Cameroun, you can go and stay there. That's how things work. Today, I'm in the United Kingdom. Is it my country? No. I have to follow their laws. We don't like oppressive law. We don't want France to be controlling us, ladies and gentlemen. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's not about negotiating. The only negotiation we'll have is to have free and fair election, parliamentary and local election in British Cameroon. And let all of us at home and diaspora, we stand for election. The person who wins most of the seats have got the mandate. We want our equal status back. We are tired of being second-class citizens. We are not inferior to any person. We were the one who were complaining because of slavery. We say, oh, this Munzungu, they took us to slave, they punished us. Apartheid, we're complaining about them. Colonialism, we're complaining about them. But today, it is another African with black skin, black man with black heart, coconut, chalk eyes, bounty. They are the one forcing, using apartheid, slavery, imperialism on another African. Is that normal? Because you want to please France and the European Union? Ladies and gentlemen, this must stop. We have suffered enough. Once more, ladies and gentlemen, this has been a party political broadcast by myself, Maitre Mola Alex Ndive-Lisinge, the leader of British Cameroon National Party. Have a great day. Est-ce qu'on allait prendre la route de l'aventure? Avec le président. À l'Assemblée, il y a un vieux coco.
Un pauvre qui vote ou celui qui l'a rendu pauvre. Si on était bien au pays, est-ce qu'on allait prendre la route de l'étranger? Ah, monsieur le président. À l'Assemblée, il y a un vieux. Vraiment. Au Sénat, il y a un vieux. Wonderful. À la présidence, il y a un vieux. Dans tout le gouvernement, il n'y a que des vieux. Des vieux, des vieux. Des vieux pour le chemin de la Libye. Pour devenir des esclaves. Les jeunes de la route du désert pour entrer en Europe. À l'Assemblée, il y a un vieux. C'est le Congo. Au Sénat, il y a un vieux. À la présidence, il y a un vieillard. Dans tout le gouvernement, il n'y a que des vieux, des vieux, des vieux.